What's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to bring you a clip from the Tony Awards last night that shows a Miss Danae Benton that called Governor Ron DeSantis the Grand Wizard of the KKK. And I'm also going to bring you a clip from the show, The Daily Blast. And I'm going to kind of critique what they said as well. But hey, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
Get to this. It's going viral. It's actress Danae Benton. She gave a little speech, and there has a moment that went very viral. I wondered if we could quickly play that.
And while I am certain that the current governor of my home state of Florida will be changing. Please.
I just wanted to get people's thoughts on that.
Yeah, Jeff.
I could dive in, I guess. Here's my thing. It's Monday. I want to get to the Sean Hayes clip, too, because I'm very happy with him. Here's what I don't like about that comment. When you say a comment like that, you could say, I don't like people's politics, or I don't like what they represent. But to say Grand Wizard or to call someone Hitler, we're going too far. It's just too far. No matter what you think of the man, he's not a grand wizard. Horrific things happen to people from that organization, to black people. Hitler killed thousands of people.
Millions.
in a horrific way. So to compare people to these monsters throughout our history is not a fair comparison. If I won an award and I said Joe Biden's a pedophile because he has a video about his popcorn clip with his hairy legs, it's going to an extreme that you shouldn't go to. And these labels that we put on people these days are very harming. They're very damaging to a person's personality. And I understand how people feel about Ron DeSantis, and there's an argument the other way. But we have to reel it in when we go through these historic names like Hitler and compare someone to that.
Here's the issue, though, Jeff. Hitler wasn't born Hitler. Grandmasters weren't born grandmasters. The KKK gained so much steam and were effective at their oppression and dissemination of a race at certain points because no one said anything, and they didn't say anything early. So when we have these moments where people are very boldly and bravely taking to a stance to say, if we don't know our history and we don't know the fact that these organizations didn't rise to power out of nowhere. You know, it didn't happen overnight. It happened because people felt like it was uncomfortable to speak out. They were fearful of speaking out. So these are moments of protest, and they're moments of resistance, and that's what we're seeing. So I understand at this juncture, DeSantis is not a grand wizard.
How many people did DeSantis murder? How many people?
Jeff, I think the point that I'm making...
I'm getting your point, but I'm saying I think we're taking it too far.
Because right now, DeSantis is responsible for a lot of legislation in order to contribute to the erasure of LGBTQIA plus people. That is dangerous. It's as dangerous as any historical erasure or dissemination of a people in any context.
And I get what you're saying. And so is this conversation for me, to be quite frank with you. I'm just making the comparison that he didn't murder anybody. When you bring LGBTQ in the black community, it looks like I'm trying to defend a racist. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm trying to say when people use an example of a horrific thing that...
We got to be honest about Governor DeSantis is not racist, not at all. He's not. You know, again, man, you can say whatever it is you want to say, but he's not racist. He's not. You know, again, he does not want things like black queer theory being taught in his school. So again, where they're saying he's racist is because he wouldn't allow that one African-American AP course to be taught in his state. And he was saying, no, I don't want them being taught. And not because of it being African-American, but because they were teaching queer theory in there as well. And he said, look, if you want to take certain things out, if you want to revise that, then we'll talk. We'll look at it. We'll talk. But they wouldn't. They wanted to push what they wanted to push. And again, man, they wouldn't make any revisions to it or anything else. Because again, they want what they want. They want what they want when they want it, and if they don't get it, they will use it to stand on and scream racism. And again, he's not racist in no way, shape, or form. And the NAACP, they can say whatever they want, and they're going to say whatever they want. The LGBTQ folks, they can say whatever they want, and they're going to say whatever they want. So people have got to get that straight. They're going to say whatever they want. But the fact of the matter is, man, just because you hear it doesn't mean it's true.
Easy applaud when you go up there and you label someone that, because everyone in the room might feel the same way, but it's very damaging to people.
And let me jump in, because I'm listening to you guys talk, and I appreciate being able to hear two friends have different opinions about a very touchy subject. I think my issue with that statement is just that here we are talking about Ron DeSantis when we should be celebrating this incredible moment. And I always ask myself, when it comes to these politicians, a lot of them are actors and don't believe a word or live a word of what they say. Do they get every second of our lives? Like, do we always have to talk about these every second, though, Tori?
She had a spotlight for a minute, and she decided to use that so that we're having this conversation.
I get that. But it's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's sometimes there's a lot of people that she works with and she loved, and a lot of great moments and anecdotes, and people that drove her to play practice, and people that stayed up all night going over lines, and they have a space in her life, too. And what it's going to do is it's going to trend, and Ron DeSantis will have a tweet, and it's going to be back in this disgusting spiral where we have to listen to this venom being spewed all over the place instead of hearing an incredible speech from these incredibly talented people that have to talk about these fake human beings. Your politicians are not real people in any way.
But Al, they're making real laws, and those real laws affect real people.
Yes,
and there's suicides attached to those people.
But let's get to why that's happening, and it's not just them.
But we got to understand that Ron DeSantis is now putting laws into place that cause people to commit suicide. He doesn't. He's not. He is putting laws into place actually that may save kids, because we know, man, that again, this entire crisis is manufactured. The entire thing is. We know it is. Because again, where are the high rates of suicide in kids years ago? They weren't there. Because why? Because this kind of stuff was not shoved down their throats. Again, that trans community has suicide rates of 19 times the general population. And again, we know that it's manufactured because, again, where were the kids committing suicide when I was a kid? They weren't there. Why? Because they hadn't even heard of this type of stuff. That kind of stuff wasn't even heard about, wasn't talked about. Because, man, people, again, they didn't push a certain agenda onto kids. And if you don't push an agenda, they're not going to learn about things, they're not going to know about things. And again, let kids be kids, which I believe is what Ron DeSantis said before. Let kids be kids. Let them be kids. They don't need to learn about this stuff in school. They don't. And again, maybe he's saving a lot of kids from committing suicide because they're not being indoctrinated. And again, we've got to understand that. So I believe people like Ron DeSantis are doing the right thing, the decent thing. Again, they're being decent human beings. And again, if you're pushing that kind of stuff onto kids, that's darkness, that's evil, that's wrong. So again, man, that lady right there that said that, he's making real laws that cause people to commit suicide or whatever she said. No, he's not. He's not. If anything, he's probably saving people. But hey, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a